Huh? Huh? Yeah.
Yeah. This is for all you non-philosophizing black sheep, unwelcome, pushed to the side motherfuckers like me.
Fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Yeah. Fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Let's get down to business. These bitches got glitches. And you thought you'd dismiss us? Nah. Now I'm laughing in stitches. See, the problem be, it'll be a tragic travesty to come after me. So just know this is how we get down. Respect that shit like a pronoun, bitch. Yeah, fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Yeah, and fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Yeah, fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Yeah, fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way.
Want to say what's up, and thanks for hanging out with us this evening. And as you guys know, that this is probably no, not probably. This is, I think, for myself and for the channel, the most important topic we talk about, and because this is where the lines don't matter to me, as far as whether you believe in a thing that lives somewhere outside of our outside of our understanding and our reality. This is something that for me erases those lines, because we all need to be doing the best we can do to take care of each other and to help each other and to love each other, no matter what those God beliefs are or are not. So I'll kind of give you the basis here, what we're going to be talking about, and I'll bring Paul on. So obviously, like I said, it was I believe it was the first installment, or the first part of becoming comfortable with the uncomfortable. And I think it was about time I was sharing my experience with having to be admitted to behavioral health clinics, yada yada. First of all, the humiliation that I went through there, but a lot of the other heartbreaks and a lot of things that happened. And it was one of those where everybody on the screen was very vulnerable, very open, very transparent, and I know it meant a lot to me. And each and every time we get to talk about it, I know it helps, in the healing process, or just helps us to be able to cope better, and process better. But that's where Paul jumped in the chat. Obviously, it's subscribed, and not only subscribed, and was watching or viewing or listening, became active in our Discord. We had conversations there, and then just a couple weeks ago, I was talking about mental health, and I think part of it was being a dad and having kids, and trying to help them, either if they have a diagnosis, or maybe they don't, helping them to try their best at whatever age they're at, to understand maybe why dad is wired, not maybe, but dad's brain is wired different, and I act and respond and react to things differently maybe than others do. And I'm very proud of the way. I'm not perfect, but I'm very proud of the way that I handle it with my kids. So we're going to talk about that, and then the other topic that I know hits me right between the eyes is trying to, yes, seek therapy, be on your meds and be quote unquote faithful, or even religious about taking your medications, but but also what and how and why there's still sometimes that need or that reach to self-medicate, self-treat, and yeah, and kind of what in the midst of that, what it feels like, because I think that's important too for maybe those that don't have any of those struggles. And I'm happy. I'm happy that you don't. But maybe shining a light on that so others kind of get a better understanding of that. So I'll shut up now. I've been doing all the talking. So without further ado, everybody, welcome Paul to the screen. What's up, Paul?
Hey.
Oh, he even got applause. God dang.
Wow. I don't know how to respond to that.
How you feeling, man?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on, man. I've been watching you guys for a minute now, so and because your hat game is always on point, I had to bust out my custom lid. Hope everybody likes it.
I can dig
It's
it.
a fat bastard delivery from Austin Powers. I had it made.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm a fat bastard.
I got a fart so big it'll choke a donkey. Get in my belly.
I did not eat a baby, though. That is a vicious rumor that probably Mikey Famine started because he's kind of a dick to me. But that's okay.
Yeah, I feel like Mikey's pretty good at being a dick to everybody. I'm kidding.
I love Mikey.
I love Mikey. Good peoples. Good peoples. Well,
sure.
before we dig in, Paul, this may be the first time anybody's seeing your face, hearing your voice, that kind of thing. Tell us a little bit about you.
Long-time atheist. I work for the Creaky Blinder. I'm the producer on his Sunday live stream, which we refer to as the Twat stream, because we call it There We Are Then, and that's a very Welsh thing, I guess. But every time I mention the stream, he yells at me because I'm saying it wrong, and it's pronounced twat. So
I would also pronounce it twat.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you fucking Americans.
I was about to say, I think that's the American way to say it.
Yeah. But it's funny because, like, I mean, regardless of the fact that like 70% plus of his audience is from North America, like in his Discord and then dealing with his viewers, it's primarily people in the UK, and maybe just because it sticks out because I'm not used to that, But yeah, I get ragged on for the way I pronounce and spell things constantly.
Yeah, I mean, you introduce Americans to TWAT. We're not going to read it twat. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter.
No, yeah.
It doesn't matter how many times you tell me it's twat. Every time I read it, I'm going to read it and pronounce it as twat. What's going to happen?
And there's no fucking U in the word color. Okay, damn it. Fuckers.
Oh man, what was the word I was? My mom for years, my entire life, from the first time I actually realized that she couldn't say it properly, even if she tried. She always said instead of ambulance, she said amblience.
Amblience.
And I was always, Mom, that's not how you say that. And like, I would try over and over, like to it's ambulance.
Yeah.
No, Mom, ambulance.
I don't think I've ever heard it pronounced that way. That's interesting. Amblience. Hey, you know what she was talking about at any rate.
Pat said, you'll love this. There's a town in Orkney. I like Orkney, I think, better, called Twat.
Where's Orkney?
Pat, or even though we have that amazing tool called Google, I'd rather Pat tell me.
Yes, please, Pat, help me out.
It's Scotland, it appears.
Oh. Okie doke.
The old Scottish. Well, everybody, welcome, and Paul, again, thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining us. And is there a particular spot you wanted to start, or would you like me to jump in?
Your show, boss.
All right, I'm just trying to be a good host here.
I got you.
Well, let's start off with let's talk kiddos, because that's for me is a very recent experience that I've had and I had to address with my kids. Now, this particular situation I'm talking about is their mom. She is clueless when it comes to mental illness, like 100%, like clueless. And even when I was in the behavioral health center, still didn't take the time to like go to the family like classes or whatever to learn, didn't do research after the fact. And she has no, she's one of those lucky sons of bitches that she doesn't, she doesn't struggle with the things that we struggle with, and obviously she has her other things, but it's not mental health, related. And she recently made some comments to my kids when I wasn't around, about me, and that essentially I'm not going to be like the other dads because my head's not right. Now, what she meant by that is open for interpretation. But first of all, it's hurtful to me nonetheless, because anyone that knows me knows I love and adore my children, and my children love and adore me, and they love their daddy. And she knows that shit. And, so she's, first already stepped out of bounds because I've never done that to her, to the kids. I've never said a word to the kids about her, my feelings about her, the things that she has said about me, even in the past. And I found out of it because, one of my kids, he snitches on mom all the time. He's like, "Hey, Dad, just so you know, I gotta tell you on the low, Dad." So obviously hurtful, but then I immediately thought about what that could do. And I don't think it does, because my kids do know how much I love them and care about them, but what the damage it could do to them and our relationship. Because when you start comparing me to other dads, well, that's we're already off base before we really get the conversation started, because even if I didn't have a mental illness diagnosis, I don't try to father like any other father. I try to be again the most authentic but the most unique father I can be to my kids. That way they know I love them in a very special way. That's their way, and it kind of ties back to the 5 love languages. I try to identify what it is that makes I have 4 kids. What each one of them, what's the best way for me to show them or tell them or demonstrate that I love them? Because it's one thing to say it, it's another thing to do it, right?
Oh,
And, and that, so that fucked me up. And then, I had him this last week, and I took him to lunch, before I took him back to their moms, and I said, all right, we need to talk about this. We need to talk about this. And had to walk him back through it that, yes, I am not like any of the other dads, but it's not because of my mental illness. I want to make that perfectly clear to you guys. If anything, there's a lot of the, because of the anxiety and the, some of the black and white thinking that's tied to the bipolar disorder. I don't do anything halfway. Ask Jena.
Right.
Ask Jena. She'll tell you there's no halfway. There's no, if there's 100 miles an hour on the speedometer, mine doesn't even read 50. It's just 0 or 100. It's so when I love hard. When I'm loyal, I'm probably loyal to a fault, and that's a tough conversation to have with your kids, especially with what's supposed to be the co-parent. You're already muddying the waters.
Well, I think so I've had to deal with a lot of that with my ex-wife too, and I'll get to that in a second. But I think because my kids are all older. My youngest is 16, my oldest is 21. And I think that for what is happening specifically in your situation, the only thing you can really do is to make sure that your kids understand that, you know, the mental health stuff isn't what defines you, you know, because that's what the narrative is going to be. If your ex-wife is anything like my ex-wife, you know, that narrative is going to be is, and it was for the longest time. In fact, I've had this conversation with my 16-year-old who lives with me now, but we didn't, you know, she hated me for like 3 years because she was 3 years old when we got divorced. So I had the least amount of time with her. And my ex-wife is, you know, filling the kids' heads with all this shit about me. And I never said shit about her. Obviously I do now because they're all older and, you know, they see what my ex-wife does and how she manipulates and lies and everything. So I can finally let the, you know, take the gloves off and be like, all right, and even like V, who's in the side chat, you know, they'll just randomly call me up and be like, okay, Mom was talking about this happened then, and she says that it happened this way. I'm like, well, that's not how I remember it at all. And he's like, oh yeah, I didn't think so, because it just sounded like bullshit when she told it to me, you know. But I mean, it's not that you'd be taking the high road and not talking shit about your ex-wife. It's just proving to the kids while you can, you know, and it especially helps if they're a little bit younger that, yeah, no, that's not how it is. This is how it is. And they'll, I mean, kids are smart. They'll figure it out. It may take a little while, but, and that's something I struggled with for the longest time because I knew, and the kids have verified it, that she was just saying the most horrible shit about me. Yeah. You know?
And that doesn't help. First of all, that doesn't help our current state, like in real time, you know, because if you and I are anything alike, which based on some of our conversations and just hearing you here, there's going to be a lot of similarities. And, you know, last, you know, 2 weeks or whatever it was when I found this shit out, which it's all been, you know, very recent, but, I even told Jena, I was like, obviously, I'm a very, very protective individual to start with, just because of my childhood, you know, and especially any, you know, any of the women in my life, I'm extremely protective, you know, and not to a, you know, not like a controlling thing, but like I'm could, you know, live and let live. But I'm telling you right now, if you disrespect, hurt, harm, that's a side of me you don't want, you know, and that's just me being real. And that's not me talking shit. That's not me, you know, trying to flex. That is, it's again, it's that black and white. It's yeah, you either show respect and you treat them with the respect that you think you want and deserve, or we're gonna have problems, you know. And so the reason I say all that is in that because, you know, yes, she's hurting me, but she's, you know, big picture conversation, she's potentially hurting my kids and my relationship with my kids. So now all those protector buttons get pushed, right? And I told Jena, I told my dad, I was like, I get it. Like there's these little glimpses where I get it, where you see these guys on the news, or you see these things, you know, online, you read these articles where these guys just flip the fuck out and lose their shit, you know. And again, I'm not justifying it. I'm not saying it's okay, because we're all still responsible for our actions and our decisions. But there's that microsecond, and it's that fleeting, but there's that microsecond where I'm like, oh, I get it. I get it. I understand how, you know, in this particular conversation, fathers are pushing that corner, because I don't know where you live, how it is, but here I am legally, I'm helpless. They don't give a fuck about me, you know. And when it comes to, you know, the legal system, and that just more infuriates you, and it even more pisses you off, right? And then so it's trying to navigate those and dare I say suppress it, you know, and which is what you don't want to do, because then it just bubbles, right?
Well,
and it festers. And I'll say this, and I'll let you go, girl. I'll just keep talking, because this is all the shit I get worked up and passionate about. But the for me, the moment that she makes my mental illness a tool, or she weaponizes it, against me or against my kids, I struggle. I struggle with the, now we'll go back to the mental health part of it. I struggle with the, now do I jump at this and do I attack again the bad, the flawed idea that she's spewing to my children, or my defense mechanism, again just going back to childhood trauma and everything, is just to become reclusive and disappear and go away, because if I disappear and I go away, there's no more problems, right? And because I'm the one being pointed to as the problem. And I know that's not true, but when you're, whether you're in mania, you're bipolar, your anxiety takes over, you're not rational anymore, right? And you're listening to it and you're taking all of it as it is absolute truth.
Yeah, you can't pull back for sure. I mean, that's definitely one of the stronger instincts. But and I thought about that a lot. And when I was dealing with this stuff with my ex-wife, and it was really bad. And the thing is, when you do that, though, you're kind of proving the point. So the only thing you can do is just carry on. Make sure that you're doing the things that what's right, whether the kids like it or not. That was another thing. My wife would be saying all this shit, and the kids knew when they came, because they would come every weekend. And I had rules. I was adhered to those rules. They had to be done. And obviously, for a little kid, they don't want to have to brush their teeth before they have to go to bed. You know what I mean?
Nah,
so, yeah, it's a whole another level. But at no point could I say, "Oh, fuck it."
Yep.
You have to keep that going. That I mean, if anything, especially for my 21-year-old is on the autism spectrum, so he needs that schedule. It needs to be the same.
Yep.
So that's really one of the hardest things to do is to just carry on.
Yeah, it is when and everybody's defense mechanisms or the walls or whatever they put up look different or they act different, but that is 100% mine. As much as I'm strong-willed, hard-headed, thick-skinned, big shoulder, whatever you want to call it, in those moments where I'm not thinking like myself, or I'm in the midst of one of the mania episodes, it is, if I'm not here, and I don't mean this like removing myself from reality, I'm just, if I'm not here in this situation, none of this matters. And again, that is, to what you said, counterproductive, because now I'm just showing that, oh, you're right, I am crazy, and I don't know how to prioritize, or whatever it is, the bullshit that you think. So I don't want to feed the monster, right? And that's what that would do. And actually, Jena and I talked about this several weeks ago, but and it goes almost step for step with what you were saying. I'm on a regular basis, believe me, making a conscious choice to not talk shit.
Yeah.
I'm making a very conscious choice, because
it's fucking hard, ain't it?
Oh, bro. There's so many
times. Get on the teeth every day.
There's so many times I've had to sit down and have these similar type of conversations with my kids, and before I sit down, when I'm in the in the heat of the moment, I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna tell them, hey, your mom's a boom 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 boom, and just get going, because that's typically my nature is, if you're coming after me or my kids and you're hurting somebody, let's get at it. Let's get at it.
Yeah.
But with that, my whole strategy is basically what you said, 18, 19, 20 years old. And once you get to experience like real life, like now you're on your own, you're dating, you're talking about getting married or having children or whatever, like when all those things start becoming more of a possibility or a reality, in your life, you're going to see the world, and you're going to see mom and dad through completely different lenses. And that once they're over 18 and they're responsible, for their own actions and all that, yeah, now let's talk. Now let's talk, because now I feel like we can have a better, more productive, mature conversation, rather than it's not just me, fuck that, fuck her, fuck, blah, 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 blah. It could be, now let's talk about this, and then let's make it a productive conversation. Still not, and it's still not even me talking shit. Now it's just, we're going to drop the facts. Notice dad kept his mouth shut for 8 years.
Yep.
Now we're going to talk about the facts.
I've had that exact conversation, and it almost went like verbatim like that with V, with AJ. That's exactly what happens. Is the rose-colored glasses come off. They see the shit that their mom's doing, and then they come to me and are like, "Hey, about that one time," And it's like, yeah. It's great when it happens, but until you get to that point, I'm assuming your kids are a little bit younger than mine.
Yeah.
You're in the shit right now, is what it is. Especially if your ex has just started doing this.
Well,
this is the hardest point.
She's been doing it for essentially since she filed for a divorce. It's just now she's starting this, and this is a whole nother conversation, but she's now starting this comparison game. This part's new. The comparison thing is new, because now there's a new man in her life, and
of course,
and good for her. Like whatever. Like good. I just hope he does his homework. I'll just say that. But he and I are very, very different people. Like his idea of going out and like family time with the kids, whatever, is like going out and like and to each their own. Like everybody's gonna have their own hobbies and passions and all that. But my kids, nor are we, when I say outdoors, like I love to be outside, but when I say outdoors, like I don't hunt. Fuck that shit. I think that shit's boring. I'm not going fishing. Fuck that. I'm not going fishing. Going and hiking. No, fuck that. I don't want to do any of that. Well, they whatever do that shit, and all of a sudden I'm getting compared to that because I don't like that. That has nothing to do with my ability to be an effective father or a loving father, and which just compounds it. Like I said, that's a whole nother psychology lesson. But again, and even my ADHD brain attempt to keep it to the kids and the mental health part of it, is because she refused, even then when we were still married, and still to this day refuses current, to try to gain an understanding and read or study or do research to maybe even get a little bit of insight into someone's brain that fights this fight every fucking day. Because she just won't do it, she continues to cause harm. And not just to me. Because when these kids are 18, 19, 20, and they do go to start their own family, they'll be like, damn, what mom did, that shit was fucked. That shit was fucked. But she doesn't understand that she's fucking with their heads and fucking with mine. Still, we're not even married.
Yeah.
And and there's times where then you start to, I don't know if you ever felt like that. It's almost like you're being gaslit, whether they knew or no gaslighting, and I think some people that are, the only thing I'll say about her that could be perceived as a negative, because I try not to, even on here, I try not to talk negatively or anything, because my kids could watch this. She is one of the most selfish human beings that I've ever known in my life. I'll say that and leave it right there. And in that, there are times I walk away from conversations, whether it's with her or things my kids say that she said, or that she's referenced. And later, when I drop the kids off, and I'm back home or whatever, and I'm thinking, I'm like, man, am I that bad? Am I that bad? Am I that bad of a dad?
Yep.
And all of a sudden I'm questioning myself, where again, when I'm logical, my kid, I know my kids, all we do is smile and have fun and love on each other every time we're together.
I think that most dads, at least in my experience, have you always have that little sliver of insecurity. Am I doing this right? And it sounds like your ex is a lot like my ex. Is they'll suss out that little insecurity and attack it. And that shit's brutal, man, because then you just question fucking everything, you know?
Yeah. And you and your ex, how long were you together or married?
Oh, 8 years, but I've known her since second grade.
Okay, all right. So we're on the same page there too. We didn't know each other, very long, but we were married for 16 years. Let's just say this. She was pregnant. We married within a year of knowing each other. And you were married 16 years. So there's now she knows much less now. But yeah, after 16 years, especially the first 2-3 years after our marriage, she knew how to hit every single button.
Oh, dude. Her name's not Lynette, is it?
No, but it sounds like sisters. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no shit. Well, my ex-wife was adopted, so the possibility's real.
We might have to do some investigation.
Yeah.
Jena has a question here. Paul, are you comfortable in sharing your mental health challenges? And if so, how do you discuss them with your children?
Yeah, well, obviously V and I talk about all the time because V's had a much harder mental health journey ongoing, obviously, than I have. I was diagnosed ADHD in like 1984. And they had me on, the Ritalin and all that. So, like, from the rip, I was already, and I had ADH with like a capital fucking H. I wasn't the kid that could walk down the fucking hallway at school. I ping-ponged off the walls the entire way down, right? Smashing my head with my metal lunchbox just to make people laugh and shit because I thought it was funny. So that was like the beginning of my mental health stuff. And I, because of the medicine they had me on, I had to see therapists and everything since I was 8 years old, and then they came to a point when I was going into high school, I was like, fuck this, and I was already super depressed because of, being ostracized for being, super duper hyperactive and just, I feel like ADHD, especially when you're in that 10 to 14 years old, you already feel like a fucking alien to begin with.
Yeah.
But when you've got that on top of it, man, do you feel ostracized by everybody. So that was something that was really, really hard for me. And that was when I was a really angry kid, and that was my outlet. And it was depression is what it was, straight up fucking clinical depression. And it just came out as me being angry as shit all the time. And doing really bad stuff when I was a teenager, and that is when the self-medication shit started. Did a lot of smoked a lot of stuff that wasn't cigarettes, and the alcohol, and the alcohol's carried over to today, where I am now undiagnosed. I know I still have ADHD. I know I still have depression. I'm sure there's a couple other fucked up things in my head that, if I were to go see a therapist again, would get kicked up. But no, yeah, specifically with V and AJ, my youngest, who lives with me right now, we talk about mental health all the time because it's something that all three of us, have to deal with. And for me, and this is only within the past couple years, for me to be able to share that with them and them share that with me, as a group or whatever, it's very, very beneficial. I love being able to talk to them about that. And I hope that they feel the same way. I'm sure they do. But
I was about to say, I'm sure they do, because looking back at my childhood, I never had that outlet.
Yeah.
No.
Nope.
Nope. And I love, and I'm gonna use the old cheesy, corny tagline, but you know, teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah.
But, uh, but that's like that's teamwork. That's because
Mhm.
when again, I'm just gonna steal all the quotes tonight. You know, the many hands make light work.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. It's teamwork. It's if one of us are down, we pull the other up. If two of us are down, I'm gonna be right here, love, hug, talk, whatever it is, and that's beautiful, Paul. That's fucking beautiful, and I wish there was more parents that had those conversations, and I think sometimes it's not that parents don't want to, or you know they don't love their kids. I would never even make that claim because
Right.
if somebody said that to me again, I'd go batshit, right?
Mhm.
But what I think it is a lot of times for parents, it is especially if they don't have any type of mental illness diagnosis or anything like that, or maybe even in their family they weren't really around it. It there's that fear of the unknown. It's I don't know how to talk about this. I don't know what to say to you, and I want to be, maybe I want to be empathetic, and I want to be sympathetic in every way possible, but I don't know how to relate to this, and I think that can be an issue too.
Yeah, and that leads back to something that you were talking about a minute ago, that your ex like refuses to try to learn or do any kind of research. I think that, like, especially when V started their I almost used the word decline, which seems very not disingenuous but shitty for me to say. When V's mental health issues first arose, say that instead. Um, I was reading whatever I can about, this, that, and the other thing, and until we got, a legitimate diagnosis, I just absorbed everything I possibly could just to try and understand and try to get an insight to where possibly V was coming from when shit like this came up, you know, and it was in especially with the bipolar stuff, because that to me, watching my 13, 14-year-old kid go from, like, your baseline to one of those super high manic states scared the fuck out of me. And it was and I didn't, and it takes time dealing with that, learning about it, reading about it, and to understand, in order to come to, your own mental closure, and say, okay, this is what's happening, this is what we got to do, and then move forward. But I mean, I don't have it, so I don't know what it's like to personally experience it. But watching my kid
Yeah.
go through that, it's like one of the hardest things I've ever done. And just the stuff that V's been through. And the fact that, when this all came up, my ex wanted to blame it on something else. So every time that V would go see a therapist or a psychiatrist or a psychologist, mom was there fucking diverting from, what, in my opinion, and I'm just an idiot, caused it, to something else. So it's like, how do you get help when that's happening? You know?
Yeah, and we have to allow, as parents, we don't have all the answers. When our children entered this world, we didn't get an owner's manual or an instruction manual or um,
That's
we,
where that
we,
insecurity comes from.
absolutely, I
you
agree.
know?
I agree, and that's where if yes, I'm going to applaud any parent that provides the opportunity, the ability for themselves as parents and their children to see professionals. But then there's a hard stop there if we don't let the professionals be the professional. We don't
Yeah.
we don't let the experts be the experts and think that, well, just because we're mom and or dad, that we have the better answers because we know them better than you. That's bullshit. That's
That was a big part of the disconnect for when V's mom was taken down. Is that Lynn would go and read all this and then think that she was an expert. And it's like, It's like
No.
you can read and understand the words, but you don't know diagnosis, you don't know treatment, you know what I mean? And a lot of that shit stemmed from, and I actually talked to V earlier and asked them if they were okay if I shared their story, because I figured it was going to come up. V's mom was trying to say that V had a traumatic brain injury from a helmet to helmet hit that V took when they were playing football. Because V turned like 8 and was like, "Yo, Dad, I want to play football." I'm like, "Cool, we'll get you signed up for flag football." V's like, "Nope, I want to play full contact pads with the boys." I'm like, "Dope, let's go."
Get it. Let's get it.
Well, yeah. So V played for like 3-4 years, and then the last year that V was playing, apparently there was a helmet-on-helmet contact, and V got a concussion and had post-concussive syndrome. But then Lynn was trying to tell all of us that it was, TBI, traumatic brain injury, which I actually got the paperwork from the Michigan Institute of Neurological Disorders where V was going. There was no TBI; it was post-concussive. So every time they would go to a therapist, or whenever we would have to go to another short-term mental health facility for an intake, that's what Lynn would fixate on. It's like, no, that's not it at all. The kid's losing their shit because the person that my ex-wife married after we got divorced molested them. In my opinion. And like I said, I could be an idiot. But this guy that my ex-wife was married to fucking was not kind to either. Well, all 3 of my kids got stuff from this dude.
And yeah, okay. So I'm gonna stay on track because I could go. I had 2 different things that popped in my head from my childhood and then my experience with my ex and my kids. But I'm gonna keep it on still to do with you you and your children, but stay on focus on the topic. But yes, to go back to it, and thank you for sharing that, and also thank you to V for giving you permission, allowing you to talk about it, because that's again being dads. I applaud even more because there is this stigma, still that with dads it's always about the tough love. We got to bring the hammer. We got to bring the pain.
We're the disciplinarians.
We got to do all that. I tell you, if y'all ever saw me with my kids, I'm the biggest fucking goddamn teddy bear you ever met, and I'm the dad that's in Walmart, and my 6-year-old daughter, the prettiest little, most beautiful 6-year-old you ever seen. I don't care if you think it's biased or not. We'll be in Walmart, and she does it once because she loves it, and 2 because she knows that it embarrasses her 2 close siblings in age. But she'll say, "Dad," and she'll just look at, we'll be Walmart or Meijer or the grocery store, or whatever. She'll be like, "Dad, baby shark," and I'll start dancing with her right in the middle of Walmart, singing Baby Shark, and she fucking loves it. And my other daughter, she's turns 14 just here in a week or 2. She's like, "Dad, my friends could be here. Don't do that." So I'm the silly, playful, dad and all of that, but I can also be the disciplinarian. And Jenna's heard me, on the phone when I have my kids, like, "No, we don't, not at Dad's house. No, nope, we don't do that shit here." And you have to find that balance, right? But the reason I say all that is as well as I know me and my diagnosis and how I do and don't respond, and I've dealt with this my entire life, I know I'm still not a professional.
Right.
And I still am not going to be the one to diagnose or not diagnose or treat or not treat my own children. We have to let the professionals be the professionals. Let the experts be the damn experts.
Mm-hmm. That was why Lynn always hated it when I would come to the intakes. So I'd have to, reel her ass in. Like, oh, wait.
Yeah, I'm
Which
sorry.
is tough.
Where did you get your degree? Oh, that's right. So
Exactly.
you and I both, not just you. You and I both should just be quiet right now.
Yeah.
And it's not me just saying, hey, you are a woman, hush. No, it's both of us need to shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
Both of us need to be quiet right now. This is not, to quote Dr. Josh, this is not our area of expertise.
Mm.
Let them do their job. And let's because there's something you brought up a little bit ago, and I think this could be a great segue into the medication and treatment, the proper medication and treatment, and either alternatively or being maybe supplemental or whatever is the self-treatment or self-medication, even when we're doing our damnedest to try to do all the things that as adults that the professionals have, told us or coached us or recommended, that we do. And you brought some up about your experience in school. And I remember, I don't know if you can say this is a traumatic memory. I would refer to a professional to tell me whether this was a traumatic event or not. But I remember when I was in school, and the one time that my mom, because she had almost all the same diagnosis that I have, and she tried to get me in to see a doctor and get me on Ritalin and something else. And I remember the first time at school. Like I going into the day, it was the first day at school that I was supposed to get a hall pass and go down to the nurse's office to go take my crazy pills. And I remember it like it was yesterday. And this girl walks into the classroom. She's like one of the student assistants or whatever, for the nurse, and comes in and she's got the pass, and she was like, I'm here to get Austin. It's time for him to come down to the nurse's office and take his medicine.
That's fun, ain't it?
And the teacher was like, Austin, you need to go down to the nurse's office. And I just sat there and stared. Like, who's Austin? Austin, they're calling for you. You need to go take your medicine.
Fucking hated that,
bro. I still remember. And after that, I told my parents, I was like, I don't care. They can bring 100 passes down. I'm not doing it. That is the most humiliating thing. And I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And once I wouldn't do it, and even though they kept trying and I would not go, instead of trying to find ways to maybe be more creative or be more what's the word I want? Incognito, about it. It's, well, then fuck it, we won't do it at all. We'll just stop, we'll stop everything, right?
How far did you get? What grade did you finally say screw it?
Well, it all happened the same year as my freshman year.
Okay.
Yeah, they tried to start it and it all ended.
Oh shit.
Yeah, within the first semester, because I was absolutely humiliated. I was absolutely embarrassed that anyone would do that to me, and the reason I bring that up is because because I had like a week, 2 weeks that I wasn't in school, that I started taking the medicine at home. And obviously I can do that in the privacy of my home, right? And nobody knows, nobody has to know, nobody needs to know, other than my family. And I do remember feeling a difference after a couple weeks. And it was after that, and then stopping taking it, that was the first time I was like, wow, just that short, like few days when I started to feel it and notice like a shift, as far as me being able to focus and be calm I was like, that once I kicked back into the high gear, like you were talking about, bouncing off the walls and doing dumb shit, I was like, what was that? What was that? Because I've never experienced that before. And that's was the first, if you want to call it trigger, or the first introduction. And I actually can feel different. I can feel better. And it was all within that year that it went from, kind of, I mean, I was still fucking around with drugs and shit, but it was very recreational at that point. It was, but once that hit, I was like, oh man, no, I want to feel better. And next thing you know, I'd smoked a lot of weed, but I for the most part, I back then I called it the kiddie shit. I bypassed all the kiddie shit. It was like, where's the coca? Where's the coca? The coca makes me feel good. But if you think about it, that now that I'm informed and I'm educated, now I know why I fucking loved cocaine. I loved cocaine because it stimulated my brain similarly than like Adderall. I'm on Adderall.
Yeah.
It stimulated my brain very similar to that. And it made me feel like Superman.
Yeah.
And that's where, now we kind of pivot to the self-medication part. It was actually that fumbling of my treatment between my teachers, my parents, and my doctor that caused that, oh shit, I can feel, like I said, different or better. What was your experience?
Well, I was on the medication. Like I got diagnosed in '84. I was in second grade, and they had me on Ritalin like fucking immediately. So I went all the way through second to ninth grade. Ninth grade is freshman year in high school. I was like, nope, because I had that experience for all those years of having to go down to the office and take my crazy pills. On top of all the other bullshit that a poor kid, not that I'm saying poor me, because I would never fucking say that, because I'm just an idiot. But like, I can see how other, it affects people, constantly being fucking ragged on for having to go take your crazy pills. And kids are fucking mean, man. By the time I got to high school, I was like, nah, I'm done. And that was when started smoking weed, and it was really fucked up because I can't remember if it was 10th grade or 11th grade. There was a huge bust up here. It probably affected you down in Indiana too. Huge, but you couldn't find weed anywhere. So we said, fuck it. It was shrooms and opium. Because we had an easier time finding opium resin than a fucking dime bag.
That's crazy.
And that obviously, started all kinds. But I was always about the alcohol. I needed to be suppressed, especially to sleep. Because
sleep, what is that?
Exactly. I needed to fucking calm my brain down for me to sleep, and I still do a lot of the time. And
so let's zero in there, because I think this is something that you and I talking may help us, but it definitely help maybe other people. And I meant to say this up top, but as we dig into this part, I want to make sure I say this. Unless there's something Paul hasn't told me, neither Paul or myself are professionals. We do not hold degrees. The only thing that we are professionals at is navigating this thing we call life the best we know how. That's the only thing that we're, and we say that is doing it within our brain, our body, and doing the best that we can as individuals, as dads, as friends. So before we dig into this, I want to make sure that I say that, because it has now become multifaceted for me. So it's not just self-medication like it was then, like I was talking about in high school, where it was, I want to feel different because that different felt better. Now I've tried everything now as adult, like even with, I have no issues sharing this, because again, the vulnerability, the transparency is again what helps us and helps others is the desire to the wanting to share it, and I'm probably going to forget one or two, but mine, bipolar, bipolar, hold on, I have the initials in my head. Well, ADHD obviously, but borderline personality disorder. I can't remember what the type or the level or whatever of anxiety, but it's like through the roof where when it gets bad, like I feel it in my neck. Like I feel my heartbeat in my neck. And then PTSD. And I know I'm forgetting one right now off the top of my head, but insomnia and sleep apnea. So I'm I have a rap sheet. I have a fucking rap sheet, Paul. And with so when you take bipolar, ADHD, the level of anxiety that I have, and probably the others, but then you incorporate insomnia and sleep apnea.
It's a hell of a cocktail.
And that's why I say it playfully, but sleep, what is this thing you speak of?
No, I've definitely I've been up like in your streams till 2:00 in the morning, and then I get up at fucking 6 because I can't sleep in. And I see that you're on and have been on for like 3 hours making music. I'm like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah, it's the shit's real. The shit's real. And there is a part of it that and I won't spin off into this too much, but here real quick, because I just want to say thank you for hanging out with us. I appreciate you being here, and you have a dad to be very proud of. He's a good man.
Good night, V. You better send me pictures of Coda tomorrow.
Yeah. And see, I lost where I was going with that, but I know how to bring it back on track. A lot of my if not almost all of my drinking is to hope to get a couple hours of sleep. Like, because I'm now medicated, so like that I want to feel better. I want to feel different. I've got to a place where I have the right mix. Like I'm good there, and between that and therapy, like I'm very stable, there. Except for this last week or so with the 1 year of my mom, losing my mom and all that shit, this is an anomaly, this time of year, but 11 out of the 12 months of the year, I'm good. It's literally like I drink in hopes that I can get a wink or two of sleep, because I've tried every sleep aid, every sleep drug, every meditation, if I got to listen to one more goddamn thing on fucking Apple Music with rain and water and wind, I'm gonna lose my shit. So that is nice, other than recreationally, like drinking and having fun. But as far as it being a regular thing, it's just in hopes that I fall asleep. That's honestly where it's at. It sucks, bro. I don't like it, but I also like to sleep.
I know that I have a problem, and I know that my mom's side is super Irish, and I've had family die, cirrhosis of liver, all that shit. I know that alcoholism runs in at least that side of the family. My dad was adopted, so I have no idea, the genetics on that side. But my kids have only ever seen me like drunk maybe twice, ever. I drink enough so that I can, fall asleep and stay asleep and not think about everything while I'm trying to fall asleep. And that's it.
Yeah. What Jen will tell you, so Jen and I have been, let's see, we're going into August, so roughly what, 8 months now. We've been, talking or dating.
Y'all together, come on.
And well, because we had the get to know me stage.
Yeah.
But 8 months solid. And as much as people do think that I drink, I don't drink nearly as much as people think I do. And
Yeah.
it just and a lot of it is because, especially on screen, because all people ask me every once in a while, there's sometimes that because I drink out of the same style of cup
That's a
every
Pizza Hut cup, man.
it's
Remember the old school Pizza Hut?
Yep. The
Oh
old
shit! It's even got dude. That's dope.
The Jena can, other than like when we were together, like at Better, right? That's like that again. That's like when I'm with friends and shit. Yeah, let's get fucked up. Let's get fucked up. I'm down. But like on a nightly basis, like I'm not sitting here getting trashed. Jen will tell you, she's other than in person with me, like at Better, and I wasn't even trashed that night. I don't get drunk. Like I'm not drinking to get drunk. It's literally to do what you said and to settle the brain down. And I've shared this with Jenna because again, I'm when people ask that aren't diagnosed with like bipolar or well, I'll focus on bipolar because I think this applies to that more. When mania kicks in, and it's usually the onset is just now. Like there's no warning signs or whatever. The best way that I can try to describe it to someone that doesn't or hasn't ever felt that way. Imagine being in a small sports car, okay? And obviously, for all of us, if you've been in any type of smaller sports car, you're in tight quarters, right? You're going 100 plus miles an hour on a gravel road. While you're going 100 miles an hour on a gravel road, you have shit, whatever it is, constantly hitting the window, and you have two people in the back seat with like marching band cymbals just clanging them over and over and over, and you just want it to stop. You want a mute button. That's where a lot of times, and I do need to be careful and even more careful, especially this time of year, when I say certain things, because like even through all this, I haven't went dark where it's been like not just manic but suicidal or anything like that. And trigger warning, for anybody, because it's part of it, I will talk about that. And this is the first time I can say that I haven't went there. So when I say like I don't want to be here, doesn't mean I don't want to be here, like alive. It's I don't want my mind to be in this place. I don't want my mind to be here. I just want to remove it. I want to forget that this shit happened. I want all the racing thoughts and the noise and all that shit to stop, shut up. Right. And that's when I drink, that's all because none of the drugs that I've tried, the legal prescribed by my doctor, that they've not helped. They've not done a single thing.
They either don't do anything or they have a really, really bad effect that is worse than, that's been my experience at any rate.
Yeah, that's dead on. For me anyway, is either does nothing at all, or yes, it knocks me out, but then it takes, probably a good 6 to 8 hours into the following day before I don't feel like a zombie.
Zombie, exactly. Yes, that is the perfect fucking word for it too. 100%.
See, I'm not crazy. No, I am. And it is, and again, that's why I set up before we started this part of the segment or whatever, that we're not professionals, because I know 9 out of 10 times you shouldn't. We shouldn't. self-treat, self-medicate, those things. Again, we are not professionals. So I want to be consistent with what I said earlier. But I think it is that human instinct for survival and problem solving, so to speak, where it's okay. I've tried to do everything that everyone's told me to do and recommended that I do it. And I mean that in a healthy way. I'm to the point now where I've done all of that. I've
Well, that when that's not working, that adds a whole nother layer of frustration onto it, which exacerbates the whole fucking thing even worse. You know?
absolutely. And sleep is so critical to our mental health. And and I'm telling you that's coming from someone that I, in general, tell you, sleep and I are enemies. And it's not because it's not because I desire for sleep and I to be enemies. We just are. We just are. And but like the last 2 days, I had the first show with Josh at 8:00, and I don't remember what time I fell asleep. I mean, it wasn't until like 5 a.m. But when I finally got to the point, I'd had a couple drinks and I just ran my brain into the ground the last 2 days. I didn't wake up till 7:00. But that's what happens. And Jen is learning my schedule as well. But when I finally between the insomnia and everything, but with all like I had several dips in manic, regarding all the shit with mom and family and all that, where I was going days without sleeping. And when my body and my brain finally get to the point where it's like, all right, bro, we're about to Conor McGregor you, and you're gonna tap the fuck out. You're gonna tap the fuck out, bro. And these last 2 days, that's exactly what happened. And my body and my brain were like, and I just said it to her as I was coming back into the apartment to start the show with you. And I was like, babe, you're learning when I don't just hit the sleep wall. When I crash into that sleep wall and I'm gone. It's like 2 days. It's night, but that's not healthy. I know that's not healthy, but unfortunately I've not found any other answers. So I manage it the best that I know how.
Well, you haven't Tyler Durdened it yet, so
That's true. That's true. And
doing something right.
And again, for those watching, listening now or later, I'm not saying that. I want to be clear that I know Paul. You correct me if I'm wrong. Would agree. Self-treatment, self-medication. That it's not the most desirable or the most healthy or the best way to do it. But for me, at 40 years old now, and years in therapy and trying to find the right cocktail and mix of therapy and medication and meditation, and like I fucking tried it all. I fucking tried. You do. If we're going to be realists, like I've tried all of that, and this is where I'm at. And I've told my dad, told my family, and Jen and I have had this conversation. It doesn't affect my. It doesn't affect like my relationship. It doesn't impact my work. It doesn't impact my decision making as far as I'm not out here like getting arrested and doing dumb shit, and all that. It's literally a thing in the privacy of my own home. And this totally sounds like I'm trying to rationalize or justify it. But what I will say, if there is or there are things that are better that I haven't tried, I'm down, man. I'm down. It's not that I want this. I didn't choose this. This is what I do to maintain. That's all I can do.
There's such a stigma with it, though, is the problem, which I get. I mean, like I've never had a DUI. You know.
Neither have I.
You know, I've never gotten drunk in public.
You threw me in the public. I was drinking inside.
Inside. Fucking Ron White.
Oh, I love him.
He's the only guy that was actually funny on that blue collar comedy tour, man.
The only one.
Only one.
I've seen him live twice. And can I tell you that usually they say the camera makes you look bigger?
Yeah.
Not with Ron. That dude in real life is huge.
Still?
That's a big man. I don't mean wide. I mean, he's a big man.
Oh, no shit. He's tall.
Yeah.
Never would have guessed. Never would have guessed.
He's a big man. When he came on stage, I was like, are you on stilts, bro? Like, what?
Never would have guessed that. I always thought he was like, 5'7".
No, he's a big man. Like, like wide and tall. He's a big. No, Ron's his Dr. Phil bit is still one of my favorites in comedy.
I love me some good stand up, and he's good stand up.
Oh yeah, see we could talk another 2 hours on stand up. But yeah, it's well, and you know what? Since you said that, because it is kind of the way I wanted to wrap the show up, and we've had a lot of natural segues here. We're on the same page. Didn't even know it.
Got a producer on the show, man. This is how it works.
True. And I'm not the greatest producer. I can sit here and talk a lot, but it's about as far as it goes. And I'll freestyle for 5 hours straight if you need that. That was crazy. When I woke up the next day, I was like, holy fucking shit. I literally freestyled for 5 hours. Anyway, any of these streams like this, whether they, you and I have talked about serious things and, but still, been able to, still inject humor and laughs into real life. But there's other ones that go way, way more into the dark conversations. Whether it's one of the more lighthearted ones like this, which are needed. These are needed as well. Or there's some of the deeper or darker ones. I always want to, at the end, what are ways that we've experienced or seen other people do or try or practice that have been successful. And I'm not just talking, yes, therapy and medication, that's like that's top two. Like, do that shit all the time. Do that shit. But what are some of the practical things that that we can do? The first thing I want to do, and I'll throw a couple, if I can find them here, a couple of websites. If you're struggling, you need someone to talk to, and let's say you need it to be someone outside of your sphere of influence and your city, your state, whatever. Recoveringfromreligion.org. seculartherapyproject.org. And if you're just at your wit's end, and I've been there and tried it a few times or two, where'd it go? There it is. There's a National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-8255. Please call, text somebody, please.
Sometimes all it takes is just that other voice.
Yep. Because that's I was going to give two quick things, and then Paul, let you take as long as you want, but you can share the. Well, first I'll start with the more serious one first, and I'll end with the funny one. Having someone to talk to that that you can trust to be there, be consistent, and not feel like they are always going to fix your problem. That, because especially somebody that you if you go into, whether you want to call it manic or mania, it's the same thing. But or you go into the dysphoria, or you go, the thing that's become more frequent for me is I disassociate. And if you do, or you can find someone, or whether it's Tang or one of those organizations, are way more fit and able to help you find the resources. But if you have one person, at least one person that you know you can talk to when you're in the midst, in the heat of either the manic, the mania, the dysphoria, whatever it is, if there's that one person that you know that even right there in that state that you can talk to, for the first time in my life, I have that. And whether we were dating or not, let's say Jen and I were just friends, I just told her within the last week, I've never had anyone in my life that listens the way she listens. I've always had people wanting to tell me how to fix it, and be the, and Jenna's a fixer. But by the way, she's a problem solver. She's a fixer. She's that's in her nature. But she does not respond that way in those moments. And I told her, just the other day, I was like, babe, you don't understand. These, 3 or 4 times now, building up to the 1 year anniversary of my mom leaving, these would have been like week, 2 week, 3 week manic episodes, because nobody listened. No, and if they did listen, it was, well, it's Oz, you're not doing this. Oz, you need to do that. Oz, you're not doing this. Oz, you need to do that. And that threw my brain into a whole nother stratosphere of, well, why can't I? How do you have this figured out? And I don't have, this is my brain. How do I not have this figured out? And I really am fucked up. So having that person, that friend that I know, and I've never been as open with anyone in the midst of mania, in the midst of all that with her, than I ever have anyone. And she gained that trust. Don't get me wrong. She gained that trust. She earned that trust. But I've really went from those, week, 2 week, 3 weeks, 3 week bouts of mania to now it's minimized to 24, 48 hours. Now there's multiple hits, but they don't last. That and they end and I'm bipolar. It's not going away. There's no cure, but they're not these long-reaching episodes. So I'll say that first. If you can, if you have somebody like that in your life already, utilize that, and don't be afraid to open up. Don't be afraid to talk, because sometimes it's just you talking and hearing yourself talk about it that is liberating. It's freeing. And as you talk about it, you kind of re-engage the rational part of your brain, because you're hearing what you're saying out loud. And I've never had that. And now it's literally, as I'm talking about it, I'll get like an hour into me, like, and I'm like, yeah, about 50% of that made sense. And that helps me. That helps me, because, okay, this is bipolar. This is not Oz. This is bipolar talking. This is not Oz talking. Then on the lighter side of it, find something, anything. I don't care if it's a TV show. I don't care if it's if it's music, a band. We talked about stand-up comedy. Whatever it is. Find something that you love to do, that you love to listen to, anything that can or does put a smile on your face, on even when you're in your rational brain, because that old saying, laughter is medicine, and a smile is medicine. That again, this is not advice from a professional. This is just me walking through what I do and what I've done. The first thing that I love to do is I feel myself coming, like I'm talking myself through this while Jena listens. Is essentially what happens. I'm talking out loud, talking myself through it, and she'll tell you probably 8 out of 10 times it ends with me eventually telling a joke, because I start to realize that yes, all of this is true, and she validates it, and I know I'm validated in it, that yes, I'm going through this, I'm feeling it, but it's then my ability to, okay, I'm okay. This is going to be okay. And all of this shit's going to work out. And I can navigate through all of this and still try to focus, pull myself back and have more of a 30,000 foot view and realize I do have good things that I can focus on right now. And when we can do that, talk ourselves through it, find something outside of the situation that's making us upset or angry or whatever it is, and focus on the things that do make us happy, even if they're little things. Focusing on those and having that perspective, that's my best simplistic, non-professional, non-therapeutic suggestion, because the shit's real, and sometimes we together we again, professionals, therapy, medication, but we have to help each other as far as practical, simple things to do to help us fucking survive.
It's
So-
coping skills.
Yeah. So I just talked for like an hour straight. So Paul, you go.
No, I think that the two that you pointed out, I hate to go samesies, but the community is important. Being able to have somebody to talk to. I have had to, in the past 3 years, 4 years, whatever, completely change the way I listen to V. And develop that, I don't want to say critical listening skill, but that's essentially what it is. To not be there saying, oh, we need to do this and this and this. And that's not easy to fucking do. So people that can just do that naturally, god damn, you're awesome. You know what I mean? And I've truly had to develop that with V, because that's something that V's mom always does, is every time V's got an issue and tries to talk to her about it, it's, well, you need to do this, you need to do that, on and on. And I mean, I've had V tell me multiple times, it's like, when I talk to you and I'm having a problem, you just listen. Not fucking easy. And then, comedy is, laughing is something that we all need to do more of. It's my defense. It's my rock. I'm fucking like 7 years old mentally, so I like to be goofy and make my kids laugh and laugh at shit. And it definitely, like unless I'm really, really, really deep, into a depressive state, where I need to call the hotline or whatever. The comedy is definitely something that, being able to laugh at something or even make somebody laugh is something that can help pull you up. I mean, I don't know how much you know about stand-up comics, but, the vast majority of them are people like us.
I work full-time at a comedy club, so I know a thing or two.
You gotta be shitting me. Seriously?
Yeah.
Why do I know that? What the fuck? Yeah. That's it. We didn't plan that, folks. I swear to God.
Here's looking at you, kid.
Yeah. I mean, they use that as their therapy. Well, a lot of them do. I mean, you look at just like the Bill Hicks. You know what I mean? Somebody like that who had all kinds of issues. Mitch Hedberg. Robin Williams had these deep, dark shit, and they used that to pull themselves up, to varying degrees of success. Fuck, all three of those guys who just named are dead.
Yeah, it's
That's not where I wanted to go with that.
No, you're good. I was because I'm trying to think of the way. Like I understand. I know the correlation I'm drawing in my head. I was trying to think of how I want to put it to words. So there's yes, there's that outlet, whether it's humor, but and that's why I said, finding those things that do make you happy, that you enjoy, because yes, I love stand-up comedy, and I've actually done a couple shows at our club, either on my own with another comedian, and that shit is helpful. And then there's also, like, for me, shock, music is a huge outlet for me. And I will literally tell Jenna, babe, I need to go. I'm just going to get lost in music. I need to go to La La Land.
He
And
does that.
yeah, and I need to go there. That's the best for me right now. I need to go do that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it. If that's part of your therapy process, I think that's beautiful, because there are actually, certain, like privately owned therapy, therapists and counselors, that they will incorporate music into their therapy, process, because there's so many people that their brains are wired that way. That's one of the things that one of the things that helps them. But it is and again, each person's gonna be different, and it may not be comedy, it may not be music, it could be like, I know for my little sis Biddy Buddha, her thing is she loves to throw a canvas up on on the wall or whatever, and she loves to paint and she loves to create, and that helps her to escape, and go to La La Land, as I call it.
Yeah. I mean, it's whatever to take your brain out of the bed and put it into a structured state where you can, critically think about stuff and not become overwhelmed. At least that's what it is for me.
Yep. And I get it, Aunt Kathy. And I know we both get each other right now. And that's where I was at. Was it last night or 2 nights ago? Whatever it was. It was like the waterworks. But I love you, and I'm here. We're here, and these next 72 hours fucking suck. But I love you. Anyway, yeah, that I was reading Pat's comment. Personalized nature trauma. Yeah, Pat, maybe you can explain a little better, because I'm not sure. I'm not sure I understand fully. Anyway, but no, it's when I'm saying this, again, I'm trying to wrap my head around that.
Yeah, it's about 4 different ways you could jump with that one, right?
Yeah, because I mean, there are going to be parts of it that are personalized, but then, like I said, to me, in any way, and even the professionals that I've spent time with in that field, the two that we need to do, if we really want to be healthy and have the best information, the best educated minds informing us, is finding a therapist, a psychiatrist, and also whatever you're prescribed, that you have a regimen, right? And you're taking your meds and you're doing your therapy, and A, B, C, and D. There's that. But I think a lot of the other things would be kind of tailored to the person, because like I said earlier, like, there's some people that they love, like, well, I'll use Biddy. I talked about little sis. Biddy loves to be in nature and have her little feet out in the grass, her bare feet out in the grass. I'm like, Biddy, I'm from the hood. We don't go nowhere.
Step on broken glass.
I just recently started wearing flip-flops. What are you talking about?
I'm all about the Nike slides.
I'm just now getting comfortable with that, because I told Jenna where I'm from, you got flip-flops, slides, anything. If the boys show up, you got to be able to run. You ain't running no goddamn flip-flops. But Yeah, so I was kind of waiting to see if Pat follow up on that, just so I have a better understanding, because I'm sure it's well, and I know.
No, yeah, I think I got what he means.
I just want to make sure I had a good understanding. Here we go. Everyone's unique as is there psychology therapy?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yep,
I
yep,
thought that's
yep.
what you meant, but just got
Figured.
it. We good. I mean, I already figured we're good. I just, I'm always the goddamn skeptic, Paul.
Yeah, I know.
I always got
got
to
that brain too.
verify, and clarify.
Trust but verify.
But yeah, so we provided some of the websites. I provided a couple of things that I like to do, and as we wrap it up, Paul, what are some of the things outside of the the professional field? What are some things that you do that maybe or maybe won't, but that help you as far as managing, whether it's just a shitty day as far as your mental health, or maybe a shitty week, or whatever. What are some of the things that you do or practice that help you?
Video games.
Oh, nice.
Play a lot of video games, which is, I mean, that can be good for taking yourself out of whatever, especially. Let's drop some. Sorry. If you want to stop with racing thoughts and stuff, for me at least, being able to, it depends on what type of game. You got to do something very specific. You need to put all your concentration into that. That's something that always helped me. The other thing that I haven't been able to do in a long time, first off because of COVID, and second off because it's really expensive to do, is believe it or not, shooting, going to the range and target shooting.
Yeah.
It is so cathartic for me because you have all your focus, on that paper target, how you're pulling the trigger, making sure that your breathing's perfect. That's just something for me that it's so hard to explain, but being cathartic is probably the easiest way, and that's so super relaxing for me.
See, after this, I'm probably going to do tomorrow, because it's been long enough now that I went to the range and shot, that you said that, and I remember during a certain period that was actually one of the things I did a ton, because of, and the word that triggered it for me was you were talking about the breathing.
Yep.
One of the things that I do is I do try to practice the deep breathing and the rhythmic, or methodic.
That's good all the way around. I mean, there's no downside to that.
Oh, it doesn't matter whether you have a mental health diagnosis or not.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a anxiety attack, panic attack, bipolar episode, whatever is that concentrated breathing in and a deep breath in, it's healthy for any of us. And you said that, I fucking forgot about that. That became one of my favorite things to do for quite a while, was to take my one or two, because I'll never tell anybody how many I own, my one or two firearms, and go, and because I had to concentrate on breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, and then we know what the rest is. But no, I'm probably gonna do that next day or two, because I until you said that, I completely fucking forgot about that.
Yeah. Ammo's coming down a little bit.
What's that?
I said ammo's coming down a little bit. I still can't get my shotgun ammo that I like, but I got lots of 5.56 and 9. So
I was about to say I still got a lot of 9. Kit wants to know if you play Skyrim.
I did. It's been a bit. I played that first remastered, but I haven't played the second, or I think they're on the third remaster yet. I love Skyrim. Skyrim was great. Skyrim was fucked up for me, though, because you've got all these options on how you can make your character. You can do this and you can do that, and it's just a huge spectrum. I always ended up as a fucking archer sharpshooter, a sniper with an archer. No matter if I started the character out as supposed to be a healing magic user, I always just put all my points in archery and fucking shot everything from a million miles away.
I love your intro. That you sound like a Christian apologist. I love Skyrim, but Skyrim really fucks me up. Kid wants to know: did you kill the chicken?
Which chicken?
Okay. I don't know.
I'm trying to think now. There's something very specific about a chicken that I just don't remember. Fuck.
I think Kit's gonna have to educate us.
Maybe.
Because I don't.
As soon as they say it, I'll be like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I don't. I've never been really a gamer, so when people get in this conversation, I'm like, I mean, do you like I said, anything that helps people, be happy and like get your happy.
Well, a game like Skyrim too, it's so deep. There's so much stuff you can do. There's so much you have to really plan out for if you're, building a character a specific way to do a specific thing or whatever. It requires a lot of structured thinking. So,
Pat said, pellet gun therapy is cheaper. A top-end pellet rifle can be used in a non-range environment, at least if you have the room for it. I do. I live on the 7th floor, and I'm just going to ping all my neighbors with the pellet gun.
See, I tried that when I was a kid, and the cops said that I was still operating a firearm within city limits because it's a projectile weapon, and they wanted to give me a misdemeanor.
I'm going to call bullshit. I'm going to call bullshit on that one. Kit said, when you kill the chicken and...
Oh, Riverwood chickens. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure I did. Forgot about Riverwood.
I remember Riverwood. I've been there once or twice.
In Indiana.
And I love fried chicken. And I actually love to cook macaroni and cheese stuffed fried chicken. So, yeah, I've been there.
That actually sounds really good.
It's delicious.
See, my problem is anytime I make chicken, I just always revert to boneless, skinless breasts. I tenderize the shit out of them, I marinate them overnight, and then I don't make whole chickens like ever.
So here's what you do. You take the boneless, skinless chicken breast, and you either take a roller or just take a meat beater. That's what I call it, a meat beater, and you just pound the shit flat.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. Then you cook your macaroni and cheese. And while the macaroni and cheese is cooking, you bread your chicken breast with however you want to bread it, whether you want to do like a flour mix or whatever, yada yada.
Panko.
And once the macaroni and cheese is cooked, you then take the now seasoned and breaded flat chicken breast. You put the macaroni and cheese on top, and you roll it up like a burrito, and then you put baking yarn around it, and you fry the motherfucker. And god damn it, that shit's good.
That sounds good.
Oh my!
I got a deep fryer too. I can totally do that.
Yeah. Oh, and bro, you get because the couple of mac and cheese noodles that like kind of chill, like hanging out the side of the chicken burrito, they get all crispy. Oh man.
Shit.
Oh man.
I think I might be hungry.
People are coming on here like, I thought we were talking about mental health. We are.
Yes, macaroni and cheese and chicken is fucking vital.
Macaroni and cheese stuffed fried chicken is therapy. It's therapy.
I'll have to try that.
Somebody prove me wrong.
Right? Fight. Should have said meat beater. That made me blush. I do have a meat beater. It's a half gallon of Jim Beam that I drank and filled with water, and I use that because they're square.
Oh, good
And
point.
That's how I smash down because you always got to fucking flatten the shit out of the chicken, the breast, the chicken breast. Fucking take my words and twist them. God damn it.
You always got to flatten the breast.
Well, yeah, no, it works really good.
And here's the other thing. Well, since we're talking about, let's do it. Food helps with mental health, and the story I fucking agree. So here's the other one I do, and this originated with when all of my kids were younger, and I used to love to make barbecue ribs. And as my kids got to the age where they could eat on their own, and when I mean eat on their own is when we barbecued ribs, barbecue sauce would be not just on the table or on the floor, but that goddamn shit's on the fucking ceiling. It's up their noses. It's in their ass crack. Like it's everywhere, right? Like fucking
It's on
barbecue
top of the
sauce.
ceiling fan. They Tony Hawked it. Shit.
Yeah, it's like, what? How did barbecue sauce end up in all of these goddamn places? So what I did, I was like, you know what? Again, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a problem solver. How can we solve this problem? Because I make amazing ribs. And on a whim, I did it. I can't remember if my ex-wife was like in Ohio with her family or whatever, but I was like, I'm gonna try this by myself and see, because I always hated embarrassing myself and trying new shit, and it tasted like ass. So I went and I got the country style ribs where the bone's already gone, and I cut them up into chunks, and I marinate. First time I marinate them for 24 hours. Now I prefer to do it for 48. But anyway, I do that. Let them soak. Let them marinate for like 24 or 48 hours, and I make my own sauce. And what happens though? What happens though is you just lightly. I'm a charcoal guy. If y'all cook with gas grills, I'm gonna need you to step your game up. But I just put a little bit of charcoal in it, like slow cook, and you take whatever sauce you want to use. Like I said, I make my own. You put it, you fucking soak and bathe them shits in the sauce, and you put it on there. Let them cook, and then like pull 2 or 3 off, see how close they are to being done. As soon as they're close to being done, pull all them shits off, because at that point, the barbecue sauce has begun to caramelize.
That's the way.
You take them shits off, you put them back in the sauce, then you put them back on the grill, but now you throw a few more charcoal briskets in there, kind of charge up that fire a little bit. And when you pull them bitches off, you get this like crunchy barbecue, tangy outside, and then the inside just fucking melts in your goddamn mouth. I call them rib chunks, and like my kids, my family, everybody, hey, you ain't made the rib chunks in a minute. When are you coming over?
It's candied. I've actually seen a recipe for that. Those things are fucking amazing. I'm gonna help you out though right now. I'm gonna do you a favor, Oz.
Uh-oh.
Charcoal. Get the Jealous Devil. Jealous Devil charcoal it's not briquettes, it's lump.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever cooked with the lump before.
Sometimes, yep.
Fucking superior as shit. Plus, you get a little bit of that smoky hint.
Mm-hmm.
But the lump charcoal is there's no filler in it. It's basically just chunks of fucking trees that they bake in an oven. But the Jealous Devil's the shit I use. It is awesome.
Well, see, that's the thing. And like on Twitter, or whatever, send that to me, because I would love to try it, because everything that I've found locally all tastes like I'm eating something that was bathed in butane. I'm like, I thought this shit was just supposed to be like wood and shit.
That's weird. I don't get that with the Jealous Devil. I just get it from Amazon.
Oh, okay. Jealous Devil. So that's easy enough.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
I got one of them big 28-inch fucking Weber cocksuckers, big round hibachi. I love that damn thing.
Oh God, yeah. Oh man. See,
yeah, I'm hungry.
One of the things I lost in the divorce was I actually had I've never really talked about this live or at all because I just kind of the last two places I've lived, I just have not, because of space, I don't have the ability. But I lost 4 badass grills that I had on my huge patio. Like each one had its own purpose, right? This is for smoking. This is for like hamburgers and open fire, like brats and hot dogs. This one's for slow cooking ribs and oh yeah. And now I'm like, oh, I got a fucking microwave.
Yeah, that hurts. That hurts.
Yeah,
I've got two big propanes, and then that hibachi, that 28. It's the big Weber. You
yeah,
know?
I know what you're talking about. Yep.
And you can do, what's really cool about that is you can get those little fucking trays for the charcoal on the side, so you can cook shit in direct heat in the middle. You know, slow cook it.
Slow cook it.
Yes.
And if y'all ain't had slow cooked meat before, you're missing
it out. Yeah, fuck.
Missing the game, because it's a whole nother flavor.
Low and slow.
Low and slow. Get at me, bro. I don't know. I'm about to start freestyling. I don't even have a beat. I don't even have a goddamn beat. I'm just thinking about food.
Oh, look, Jenna looked it up. Jealous Devil. Yeah, hardwood lump charcoal. That stuff's the shit, dude. It's not cheap, but man, so yummy.
So last question, then we'll wrap it up with this, because now we're like a half hour over our normal time. But this has been fun, so it's no big deal. Outside of you, I don't know if you do or don't, but outside of you making your own barbecue sauce, what is your favorite barbecue sauce?
That's tough, man, because it's different for different meats. You know what I mean? Like if I was, we'll just stick with the chicken since we were talking about chicken a little bit ago.
Well, do one for chicken and then one for pork.
It would have to be a sweet and tangy for chicken, what's that brand I get?
I have no idea.
I'd have to go look in the fridge. I don't remember. But I mean, really, branding doesn't matter because I always doctor it up anyway.
Same here.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But a sweet and tangy for chicken, because I like the spice. I like hot shit. And then for pork, anything brown sugar and bourbon.
Okay.
That's good shit. Like whenever I make burgers, even I get the McCormick brown sugar and bourbon fucking rub. That's what I put on my steaks for a rub. I actually put other shit in there too. Like that goes on my ribs, man. But it's really, really good on the pork. So.
Yeah, the hamburgers, because I didn't ask this question, but since you brought it up really quick, I love to get like the thick, already like pre-made patties at the grocery store, but not the little ones, like the thick ones.
Yeah.
I love to slice them in half and put cheddar, or not cheddar, Colby, and then pepper jack and jalapenos in there, and then put them back together and grill it with that shit in the middle.
Yo, I've got it. I'm going to send you on Twitter a tool. There's a tool that I have. I can't even remember who makes it. It's this little thing that forms your patties for you, right? You put the meat in there, and it's a little cup base, and you squeeze the top into it. But you can take the fucking top off, that top part, and then it puts a fucking perfectly circular depression in the middle, so you can put your shit in there, then put the meat back up at time, put the fucking thing back. It's fucking amazing, dude. It's like $15. I'll send you a link. I forget what the fuck it's called. But makes perfectly formed patties, dude. Perfectly formed patties, and it gives you the opportunity to put some shit inside of it too. I blew your mind, didn't I?
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm to a fat guy about food. Come on.
Well, I see. I'm a former fat guy. I was once like 310 pounds. So
yeah.
Like I get like, and I still have a love for all of this food. It still has a soft spot. Anyways, so to chicken and pork, my answers on that. So chicken, I would.
You
Yeah,
say
I tell you-
Frank's Red Hot, I'm just gonna leave.
Oh no. Yeah, I love Red Hot Louisiana. I love any hot sauce, but specifically barbecue sauce. I would probably say, as far as like just like normal like brands that anyone can probably go to a grocery store, get the sweet and tangy Sweet Baby Ray's. I love that. With
That's the brand I was thinking of.
yeah, boy,
Thank you.
yeah.
Sweet Baby Ray's is the shit.
And then this barbecue sauce comes from Columbus, Ohio, and I hate to admit that because fuck Columbus and fuck Ohio and fuck Columbus, Ohio.
Dude, I'm from Michigan. Of course, I'm gonna say fuck Ohio. Buckeyes suck.
Yep. There
No
we go.
offense to anybody in the side chat.
Fuck them.
Whoops,
Sriracha. I love sriracha sauce. Kit said,
bro.
but the hell yeah,
On my fucking table.
hell yeah.
Love me some sriracha.
If you, Paul, or anybody in the side chat, if you have never had Montgomery Inn with any pork, I'll put it on anything. I'll put it on pork, chicken. I'll stop there.
I'm gonna have to look for that.
That shit is the absolute perfect blend for pork of that kind of smoked bourbon taste, but you also get spice and sweet all at the same goddamn time.
Nice.
It like my mouth is watering talking about it. Fat guy in low coat.
Oh, I miss Chris Farley. I just put the link to that fucking burger press in the side chat. You have to check that out. You're gonna get a little chubby.
Oh my. Oh my.
Ideal, huh?
Yeah, I can fucks with that.
Like $10.
That'll save me a lot of time.
Yeah, then you don't have to pay the extra for the pre-made patties. You just buy your fucking, big chunk of beef. Or like what I like to do is I got a food processor, so I'll get some chuck and then I'll get some short ribs and like 3/4 chuck to 1/4 short ribs in the food processor. Fucking pulse that up for my own ground beef. Yeah.
You and I get way too excited about this barbecue shit.
Fucking food.
Like, yeah, barbecue.
Yo, it's legit.
Hold on, I gotta share this real quick. This that shit though, right there,
Montgomery Inn.
right there.
Let me put that into a. Because I'm always looking for good barbecue sauce. The key with barbecue sauce is it has to be molasses based. You know what I'm saying? So it's that thick fucking shit.
Oh, this shit. Hey, this should be thick though. This should be thick though. And it hit right. Mm-hmm. It'd be hitting though.
Innuendo is great.
And Bree, good to see you. I'll answer 2 of your questions. My favorite is fried catfish. I love fried catfish. Or I saw yours beer battered. I can do that. And what are your thoughts on pretzel buns? Fuck pretzel buns. That's my thought on pretzel buns.
I don't think I've ever actually had a pretzel bun before.
It's disgusting.
It looks weird. I mean, I'd give it a try just because, that guy.
Yeah, but it'd be thick though.
Thick.
Be thick with it. Oh, so I have a feeling Paul and I are gonna have to do like streams every once in a while. We just talk about food. We just talk
I'm
about
cool with that.
how you like that bacon? I want that thick cut though. Fuck that skinny
cut.
shit. Fuck
Yo,
this.
I just watched a video today of a baked barbecue baked armadillo egg. You know what that is?
No idea.
Oh my god! All right, check this out. I hate to do this to you, side chat, and I know it's late, but whatever. Jalapeno. Cut the ass off it. Core it. cream cheese with whatever kind of rub you want on it, mixed up, jammed into the jalapeno. Breakfast sausage, mushed around the jalapeno, wrapped with thin cut bacon, rub on it, a little bit of barbecue sauce on the grill for 2 hours. Bro, does that not just blow your mind? I've never made them before. I literally just watched a YouTube video this morning, and I was like, yeah, that's getting made this weekend.
I'm in.
Yeah. That's like everything. I mean, it's a beautiful thing.
I love barbecue.
Yes.
God damn it.
There's another one I watched. Have you seen the barbecue shotgun shells?
No.
Oh, all right. Check this out.
And as he's pulling this up, and Kathy, I would love to do that if I'll have to wait till the beautiful Jena arrives and moves to Fort Wayne so that I have a patio to barbecue on. Because right now, I'm not allowed.
Apartment life kind of sucks sometimes. It's not for everybody. I've been there too many times. So anyway, barbecue shotgun shells. Kind of the same principle, only a little bit different. Actually, a lot different. Jumbo manicotti shells, right?
Oh, you okay? You got me there. Okay.
Right? You get the cream cheese again. Now I'm going to change up the recipe that I saw because I would do it just a little bit differently. The way I would do it was I'd take the cream cheese, you put your shredded cheddar in there, mix it up, right? Little bit of ricotta in there too, because ricotta is the shit. I don't give a fuck what anybody says about goat cheese. It is amazing. And then just a little bit of ground up Italian sausage. Ground up Italian sausage. Already cooked in with the cream cheese. You stuff that into the freaking manicotti shell, right? Then you wrap it in bacon, the thin cut bacon. And then you cook that with the, your rub and your barbecue sauce on it. It's supposed to be yummy. Got to try that too.
You lost me at stuffing. No, I'm kidding.
Stuffing.
Yeah.
That's another one I got to try.
I'm officially hungry.
Yep, me too.
Thanks, Paul.
You're welcome.
And, everybody, welcome to the mental health stream. But you know what? This is what friends do. We get done talking about the serious shit, and we talk about barbecue. Why? Because barbecue is part of our therapy. And if you don't like it, fuck you. We therapy our way.
That's it. It's a new hashtag. Let's do it.
Hashtag barbecue therapy our way. Jena said, where are we on this stream?
Wrap it up.
We are right here. We're about to wrap it up, like some bacon wrapping up some sausage, macaroni and cheese, and cream cheese, and fuck them.
That's it.
But yeah, we will. We'll wrap this shit up like a burrito. Paul, anything you want to say before we close, my man?
No, just thanks for having me on. This is great. Hopefully I can come on and harass you some more sometime, probably about barbecue, whatever.
Yeah,
I hope everybody had fun.
Fuck yeah. And if there is a way that I can plan one day, because I can't do it here, that I can be somewhere where we can like barbecue and stream, that would be, I don't even give a shit if I lose. That would just be badass.
Well, when's the next better? I'm only a couple hours away from you. You know that's that, true. Right?
I forgot.
Yeah.
So right now the dates are gonna the not in stone yet, but more likely than not, June 3rd and 4th is kind of what we're talking about. But yeah, that would be badass.
I drive a pickup truck, dude. I'll bring my girl with me.
Oh, I hear you. And you're gonna have to bring mine with you too, because I lost mine.
It sucks. I'm sorry.
But for something like that, I would find a way to buy it. And no, real quick, Bree, before we go, not all there's a difference between grilling and barbecuing.
Yeah, she's got a point.
Yeah, like
Big
grilling.
point.
When somebody's having like, hey, we're gonna grill, we're gonna have a cookout. That's like hamburgers, hot dogs, bratwurst, corn on the cob, asparagus, like shrimp on the barbie.
Oh God, grilled asparagus is so yummy.
Like,
Yo, have you ever made elote? Not to distract us again.
What's in it?
Oh, you're gonna love this. Do you like corn?
I love corn.
Okay, so you grill your corn, right? This is like
You already got
Mexican elote, dude. You grill the corn, you get some good marks on it, make sure it's grilled up. Then you take a mixture of half mayonnaise, half sour cream. You put some like black pepper, some cumin, and some red pepper on there. Mix it all up. Fucking baste it on the outside of the corn. And then some. There's a specific Mexican cheese that you can use, which I forget what the fuck it's called right now because it's kind of late. I usually just use Parmesan cheese. You put that on the outside, man. Paprika.
I've never heard it called that, but yes, I've done that, and it is a mouthgasm.
Yes.
Like a mouthgasmical explosion in your mouth.
Mouthgasmatron 2.0.
Yeah, you want that. You want that. You need that in your life. But no, thank you, Paul, for coming on and to most of the stream. We talked about and addressed the things that we wanted to, and I as always I want to make sure that I do, even though we've been having fun, say thank you for being open and transparent and authentic with me, with those watching and viewing, and also I always love a good discussion about food and barbecue, so that as well. And again, thank you to V. One of Paul's kids came and hung out with us in the chat for quite a while. Thank you for hanging out, and I'll say it again. Your dad, just like any of us dads, we're not perfect at all, but you got a badass dad, and he's a good man, and appreciate you being on, Paul. Everybody in the chat, thanks for hanging out with us during all the serious talk, and now even the barbecue banter. Oh, that's gonna be the name of it, barbecue banter,
Bro, that's it.
Oh, see, I do. Hey, I'm a hashtag maker, bro. I'm a hashtag.
Hashtag, you just thought of a whole new show for Tang.
Barbecue banter. Yeah, you're welcome, Jena. More work for you. No, I'm just kidding.
Whoopsie.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you for everybody hanging out, and we'll see you here in the next 48 hours, y'all. Appreciate you.
Yeah. This is for all you non-philosophizing black sheep, unwelcome, pushed to the side motherfuckers like me.
Fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Yeah. Fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Let's get down to business. These bitches got glitches. And you thought you'd dismiss us? Nah. Now I'm laughing in stitches. See, the problem be, it'll be a tragic travesty to come after me. So just know this is how we get down. Respect that shit like a pronoun, bitch. Yeah. Fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Yeah. And fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Yeah. Fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Yeah. Fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way.